It was good. I'm Isaac Lee, and we knocking out the first episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I've been waiting on this. I ain't gonna hold you. Let's get into the rundown. Alright, so let's get right into it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they definitely spared no expense with this. When you look at those action scenes, you can definitely tell they put some money into this. First things first, the Falcon, Sam Wilson, he's still being called to action. We see him holding on to the shield that, Captain America gave him. And he's still questioning if he should be the one to carry the mantle. We find out that in previous conversations that we don't see, that he's been kind of talked into relinquishing the shield and maybe putting it alongside some type of I guess you could say memorial to kind of like immortalize the image of Steve Rogers. But we find out that was all a ruse, and I'll get to that later. But prior to that, we get a little bit more personal with Sam Wilson. We come to find out that during that 5 years, he had a sister who's been taking on the family business. It's been kind of rough in those 5 years to the point that she was thinking about just selling the whole thing. And of course, Sam Wilson is against it. And he's all like, we can make this work. I'm sure we can get a loan and yada, yada, yada. And it's crazy when you think about the fact that Sam Wilson is an Avenger. First and foremost, before he became an Avenger, he was already putting his life on the line, doing God knows how many missions. And now when he is an Avenger, he's putting his life in more danger. First thing comes to my mind is Age of Ultron. So they go to this bank, him and his sister, and they're trying to get this loan, and the guy they're talking to is all starstruck, talking about, oh yeah, you're Falcon, you're one of the Avengers. So at first it seems like it's gonna be in their favor, but then the guy starts talking about how, oh well, you don't have any income to back up the last 5 years, and he's trying to explain to him that, yeah, me and billions of others haven't been here for 5 years, so I can't really build up a history of income to show that I'm good for it. But he shows that he has all these government contracts. They're still like, oh man, but we can't do this because of this, that, and the third, and these are the new regulations. And his sister even makes a note and saying like, yeah, things always tighten up around us. So like, it's so funny that you could be an Avenger and still have problems getting a loan. I was thinking that, it'd be interesting if he can get the money from Tony Stark, but then I realized Tony Stark's dead, so yeah, had to throw that theory out the window. And then on top of that, the man still tried to get like a selfie with him. I'm like, are you serious right now? Then aside from that, we have, the Winter Soldier, Bucky. And we find out he's been seeing a therapist because he's having all these nightmares about all the things he did when he was like mind controlled, and how he has so many regrets about all the lives that he's affected. We see a little bit of it Civil War when you find out that he's the one that killed Tony Stark's parents. But I'm getting off on a tangent. But he's all about making amends, and he walks around with this list, and they're definitely going to get into a deeper story because you see him befriending this older gentleman. The older gentleman makes mention that, his son died all of a sudden. And then Bucky kind of finds out, he kind of puts two and two together and realizing that, oh, the guy he killed was this man's son. And now it's a matter of, okay, so are they going to have the father figure it out, or are they going to have Bucky come out and just explain it to him? And where's that story arc going? So that's interesting too. The therapist also makes mention that he hasn't been answering the text messages that Sam has been sending him. I'm curious what's going to be that thing that finally links them together. Like, we don't have a lot of episodes, so this has to move fast. But going back to what I was saying in the beginning about that shield, he's been talked into kind of relinquishing it, and then we find out at the end it was all a ruse. They come out talking about, oh, we need someone who's going to carry the mantle of Steve Rogers, so now here's our new Captain America. And they bring out US Agent, and he comes out and he has that shield, and the look on the look on Sam's face, you can't help but to think that, race played a factor in it. You can't help but to think a little bit like, okay, everybody loves Steve Rogers, the all-American white guy. He gives the shield to a black guy, and then the black guy gets talked into relinquishing that shield just so they can give it to another white guy. It's like, come on. It was way too obvious, but the way he must have felt in that moment is crazy. But as far as the series starting off, I'm really loving how they're starting off. I can't wait to see where they go from here. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? And if you like what I had to offer, hit that like and subscribe at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.